Hi, good evening, everybody. This is the November 26, 2018 DGR Subcommittee of the Holyoke City Council. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Sorry we got another rating night in front of us. Let me just go through some introductions first, and then we'll start with the agenda. With me is Councilor Mike Sullivan, Councilor Pete Tallman, Councilor Jimmy Leahy. In the audience, we're lucky enough to have former at-large Councilor Diosdado Lopez. I'm the chairman. Councilor Valentin has a work-related matter. Said she could be here a little bit later if necessary. And Councilor Roman, I believe, will be on his way. I do not have prior meeting minutes, so if I could just get a motion to take number 2 off the table.
Motion to take item number 2 off the table for discussion.
On the motion to take number 2 off the table, all in favor?
Aye.
Item 2, this is an order that I filed. It said the management of Wistariahurst provides the City Council report documenting a $250,000 grant it received sometime in 2010. The grant was referenced in a letter from the it's DLS. I wrote the acronym and I can't remember what it is now, but it's part of DOR, dated March of 2018, and the deficiency from the grants was $124,921, and we discussed this in City Council. And this shortfall from Wistariahurst was made up by city taxpayers to balance the FY18 budget. I asked Wistariahurst to provide a narrative how this happened, what the funds were used for, and why the deficiency. And so I've due to various reasons, I chose not to take it up right away, but I wanted to put it on the agenda at least to get it in front of us. And I put it, so our administrative assistant reached out to Ms. Preisler, the executive director of Wistariahurst, and this, I believe most of this happened prior to her time, so we're not pointing fingers, but yet we have to find out what happened with this. Ms. Preisler was unavailable tonight, so I wanted the committee to know that. She did circle back, but we will reschedule this. At the bottom of this, you'll notice, councilors, we have our next meeting, and hopefully you'll agree, will be December 19th. That is ultimately going to be a very full agenda. So I'm going to ask that we table this and probably to our January meeting. And if you have any questions right now, I'll entertain them. But okay, hearing none.
Item number 2 be tabled to our next meeting.
Second.
Or is it January?
Yeah, probably January.
January meeting, yeah.
On the motion to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If I get motion number 3, please.
Item to take up number 3 for discussion.
Second.
On the motion to take item number 3 off the table, all in favor? Aye. Motion that I file, order that the City Council approve a set of, actually, if we could take, just suspend and take 3 and 4 as a package, so motion reconsider on the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to take items number 3 and 4 as a package, suspend the rules.
Second.
On the motion to suspend rules, take items 3 and 4 together as a package, all in favor? Aye. Item number 3, order that the Holyoke City Council approve a set of license agreements between Action Ambulance and the City of Holyoke for use of garaging vehicles at Holyoke Fire Department Stations 1, 3, and 5, and the former station at 490 South Street. Draft language for Action Ambulance is attached here too and will be distributed to all councilors. And then item number 4 is a Board of Fire Commissioner minutes for July 18th, 2018. Under discussion in this, we as we know that the City Council generally approves all meeting minutes. In this one, we under my suggestion, we motion to receive and refer to DGR. I noticed that under for the July 18th meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners, agenda item number 4, there were let me make sure I have it here. It was agenda item 4 or agenda item. Let's make sure I can read my own writing here. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, it is agenda item 4. Sorry about that, gentlemen. 2 letters from discussion during the last meeting. One DPW regarding Forbes and Wheeler recommendations, and one city solicitor regarding lease agreement with Action Ambulance. The board will invite Mr. McManus with their next meeting to discuss the findings, recommendations of Ford and Wheeler, add the issue of and a few other things. So we didn't have anything before us regarding any kind of a lease or a license or anything. And to this day, there is still no agreement before us. So what happened, if we recall, well, anything to do with real property has to be approved by city council, whether it's a lease or a sale or a purchase. If we recall a couple years ago, when Gandara came up to the former geriatric authority, they just went in there. And how did they go in there? Well, Attorney Cunha said, we don't have to go before you because we're not giving them a lease. We're giving them a license. So it was really legal double talk that got Gandara in there. So we changed our ordinance. Kevin and I filed an order, and fortunately we got that was not unanimous, by the way, but we you voted for it and you weren't here, but Jimmy voted for it. But we got the ordinance changed so that licenses have to be approved by city council. So whether it's a license or a lease, a purchase or a sale, all has to come through this board, anything to do with real property. At this point, I don't really know how to proceed on this, only because, so I'm gonna ask maybe that we're not in public hearing, so we'd have to suspend, but if you have something on point, we always suspend, so we can do that. And if you want, just raise your hand and we'll suspend. Okay, then we will suspend. Before we do that, I would just ask that we maybe make a motion to have Ryan follow up with law department and to see where we are, and then have this order be back before us for February 19th, because that's all we can do at this point. We don't have anything in front of us. Before we do that, maybe we can get a motion to suspend our rules and allow the public to address.
Motion to suspend the rules and allow the public to speak.
Second.
On the motion to suspend rules, allow the public to address, all in favor? Aye. Diosdado Lopez, if you would just give your street address, we know who you are, and make sure the mic's on, Diosdado. Yep.
No, it is. Diosdado Lopez, 19 Springdale Avenue. I filed several orders when I was a city council at large regarding this, and it went to committee, and we never received any information. I just want to point that out. It went to the fire department, and I think it went to the city solicitor. I have to go back and double check.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
So what we will do now is, if we could just entertain a motion to refer this to Ryan, and have Ryan, our administrative assistant, report back to us with any whether, just touch base with the law department and see where things are. With this.
Okay, I make a motion to send this to our administrative assistant and touch bases with the law department, fire department, see if we get more information.
Second.
Okay, under discussion?
Yeah.
Council Sullivan.
So, just so I'm clear on this, we've got the ambulance services in there using city facilities, and there's no rent, there's no lease arrangement, there's no nothing. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Well, I'm going to answer that with my guess is, Council Sullivan, that you're right, but without us having anything at all in front of us. So we have this third-party vendor. What do they call it? What's the name of it, Mike? Action Ambulance.
Action Ambulance.
Action Ambulance. This vendor that is using public buildings. To the best of my knowledge, they have no written agreement to use whether Fire Station 1, 435 or the facility at 490. I don't know what the relationship is with on snow plowing or cutting the grass or picking up the recycling or picking up the trash or anything. I have nothing in front of me. And if the administrative assistant wants to present something, let me see if there's, oh, well, wait a minute now, hold on a second, let's see what we have here. The only thing, well, let's see what we have here. Oh, let's see what we have. We have, well, voila, we now have something in front of us. We have a signed document.
Agreement.
Oh, okay, well, then here we are. We have it, voila, we do have it. I thank the administrative assistant, okay, he already took care of it for us. So this is between the City of Holyoke, it's a City of Holyoke license agreement. Okay, so this requires city council approval. And these are two City of Holyoke license agreements between the City of Holyoke and the Holyoke Fire Department, City of Holyoke and the Fire Department and Action Ambulance, Inc. of Wilmington, Mass. I think what we need to do in light of this is to make copies. So I'm gonna have us, so we're still under discussion for our motion. I'm gonna just have Ryan scan these in, email them to the committee, and we can review them and have them for the December 19th. So, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So thank you, Ryan, for doing that. I appreciate that.
Right, can I just see the signature page on?
Yeah, okay, so I'll just, while we're in discussion, so we have documents signed by Action Ambulance and by the City of Holyoke, signed by the mayor, signed by the chief of the fire chief, and then approved to form by the former city solicitor. Then it's also signed by the CEO of Action Ambulance. Although it does beg the question, why wasn't this put before us for approval? Because this, if you'll notice, this document, the one I have, and the one is effective May 1st, 2017. I'm not even sure how that happened. Have they been here that? That's unbelievable. So
Last year, yeah.
that can't make sense. They weren't, it says effective May 1st, 2017, and somehow this is signed by the CEO in July of 2018 and signed by city officials in July 30th of 2018. So I don't think that May 1st, 2017 date is right. Let me see when it, like they say it again, it goes from May 1st, 2017 till May 1st, 2019. At least the one I have.
Yeah, I think they're both the same.
Well, yeah, this is for 490 South Street, and
No.
that's for stations 1, 3, and 5. Flip to the next page, Mike. Same, yeah, okay. I think Counselor Sullivan's spot on. I think these are, except for the address and the location being slightly different, I think they're basically gonna be the same. So there's a rental payment for $3,600 a month for station 1.
Yeah, 1,200 for each station.
$1,200 per station, okay, $3,600 a month for the 3 stations, and then for 490 South Street, it's $500 a month. All right, so those are the basic terms, but we have to have a chance. We're not gonna review these now. We're not gonna comb through these now. I wanna recognize Councilor Leahy.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Bartley. I have a vague memory of sitting in the chair you're sitting in, or one of the chairs, and I believe that they were in front of the Finance Committee with this memo. I think it was a memo of understanding, or it was a license or some sort. And I remember the chief was in here, the gentleman from the fire department himself, and there was probably 4 or 5 other gentlemen. But I do remember them coming in, and I don't know if it was specifically for this or for something else, and this was going back maybe a year or 2 ago. So maybe check with Todd.
Well, okay, so I appreciate that. So I just so our administrative assistant, when he's taking the minutes, so my questions are, how did this contract commence on May 1st, 2017? Second of all, it wasn't executed until July of 2018. And third of all, how are they even in there without city council approval? So those are my three questions that I'm going to ask Councilor Tallman to amend his motion, and that we get those three questions answered. So send it to Ryan, but if you could just amend your motion to have those points.
I amend the motion of why it was signed after May 1st, and how it went through without the city council approval.
That's right.
That was the third one.
And how is this effective May 1st,
So
2017?
that's it, when they signed, yeah, right,
So,
before us. And have them, have the administrative assistant have those scanned.
and scan, so those are
And
the
get
four
to
things,
us, yeah,
scan and get
yeah.
back. So a motion's made and seconded on the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. We're still in the suspension, Councilor Lopez? You gotta go to the mic.
I just want to make sure that we're covered for liability. I mean, if the city's going to be liable or not, I'm not holding this type of agreement. So I just want to make sure that you look into that, make sure that we don't carry the liability of anything that happened to any of the staff from Ashland.
Action.
Okay.
So
Thank
that raised another question.
But that was my order, sorry.
Should we make a motion to get a kind of a legal opinion on liability? I don't know. What do you?
Well, if it's an agreement, shouldn't it be, probably written in there saying if they're not, if something gets hurt or something, hopefully it's in the agreement. I mean, we'd have to research the agreement.
Well, liability should be, this is a license.
License, right, the license, so that
So-
had to get there before.
So I'm very proud of us in this room for passing that amendment, because this would have gone right past us. But it's now in the city ordinance that we have to approve licenses as well as the rest of it. All right, well, how about, so liability is going to be a question. So when Ryan contacts the law department, we certainly want to find out about liability as well. So those three other things that Councilor Tallman's motion was made and second, we passed, as well as liability. And then we want to get copies, we want to get these scanned in and sent to each committee member. So I'm going to make a note of that on the jacket. So motion to Ryan. And a fourth issue with liability. And copies to DGR. And then maybe we just get a motion to table this to the, we'll take it up on the 19th because we got to do that.
Motion to table this item until December 19th.
Second.
On the motion to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is to table this until December 19th, but in the meantime, as we just passed, the administrative assistant will do some due diligence on these items. So we're thankful for that. Okay, if I could get a motion for number 5, please.
Motion to take up item number 5 was discussion.
Second.
On the motion to take number 5 off the table, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion, this is Councilor Valentin. City Council declared the land at 416 Appleton Street has not been used for a park or open space and is not needed for such purposes, that we petition the General Court for a special act to remove the 416 Appleton Street from the provisions of Article 97 of the Mass Constitution, proposed to substitute or swap Article 97 designation on 416 Appleton and replace it with a designation on land associated with the Holyoke Center City Pedestrian Plaza, in compliance with state regulations enacted by Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, designate 30 John Street and the northernmost portion of 505 Dwight, which is approximately 4625 square feet of vacant land for open space and recreational purposes. Under discussion, I had some, as you know, we had if Councilor Leahy wants that email, but, as you know, we had, let's see, we've taken this up now June 18th, October 15th, and now 11/26. On October 15th, we were advised by OPED that we could move this along. I also said it in an open meeting for ordinance, because if you recall, in ordinance a couple weeks ago, we had an issue with the no parking permit only signs between Appleton and Essex, and that I believe we resolved that, although that'll come before full city council next week. But that was a very robust meeting, and we had a lot of citizen participation. At the time of that meeting, I said to all the citizens who are here, and they're probably a good, 8 or 9, that good news, we're gonna try to alleviate some of the parking issues in that quadrant, because we're gonna pass hopefully we're gonna take up this order. But in the meantime, John Dijek, who's the Assistant Director of Economic Development, he said to me, or he said in an email dated November 20th, regarding the order for 416 Appleton, to achieve the outcome, there are several steps on the city side as well as the state. To err on the side of caution and to avoid time and cost, I requested guidance from the law department. The law department is working on this, but the information will not be ready in time for the meeting on the 26th. So that was one item. So the bottom line is that the Economic Development Office is working on it, and I will reschedule this as soon as they tell me they're ready to take it up. But when you're talking about Article 97 land and petitioning the general court for a special act, it's not a simple matter, and I don't mean to make it sound like it's a simple thing. But I certainly want to update everybody on where we are.
Motion to table that to further notice?
Second.
On the motion to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. Okay. Let's see, if I could get number 6 off the table, please.
Motion to take up item number 6?
Second.
On the motion to take number 6 off the table, all in favor? Aye. That the city council, in accordance with 30B, vote to accept an offer of $10,000 from HHA, Holyoke Housing Authority, to purchase and redevelop 144 High. The property is 5,400 square foot building situated on 3,300 square feet of land. The property is zoned downtown business and has an estimated value of $82,400. The same email I had regarding 144 High Street, the Housing Authority withdrew its offer, so we think a leave to withdraw by DGR would be appropriate. After this, we intend to work with the purchasing department to reissue the RFP soon after. Attached is a letter from HHA in case you need it and don't have it. Here's a letter dated October 5th, signed by Matt Mainville, the executive director. Dear Chairman, please accept this letter as rescinding our letter of interest regarding the property located at 144 High. This matter is referred to your subcommittee on August 7th. Based on our development partner's recommendation and the tax credit requirements, it has been determined that this site will not meet our basic programming requirements. So, I think that's pretty much the tail of the tape.
Yeah, they don't want it now.
Motion for leave to withdraw.
Second.
On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, that is given leave to withdraw. Thank you, gentlemen, on that one. Let's just put this over here. Let me just mark the book. Hold on a second. Okay. A motion will be in order for number 7.
Motion to take up item number 7 off the table for discussion?
Second.
On the motion, take number 7 off the table. All in favor? Aye. Councilor Roman, that the city council pass a resolution in solidarity and support of the nurses and staff at Providence Hospital who are facing cuts. Recommend to go DGR that the staff, administration, and individuals affected be invited to discuss these devastating cuts. I don't have Councilor Rahman is not here. He has not indicated how he wants to proceed, so I think a motion to table would be in order, really.
Okay, make motion to table item number 7.
Second.
On the motion to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, aye, okay, I'm just gonna note the book. All right. If I get a motion to take up number 8, please.
Motion to take up item number 8 off the table for discussion.
Second.
On the motion to take up item number 8, all in favor? Aye. The next meeting date, 12/19. Are we good to go with that date? That's a Wednesday.
I'm good.
Oh, boy. 6 o'clock?
6 is good for me.
Yeah,
So we
6.
got 6, yeah.
6.
6 will be good.
Okay, so the motion is made and made to, that we'll meet, well, we don't have to make a motion. We're just gonna meet at 6 o'clock on the 19th.
19th.
I just want to point out a couple things for the committee, since I promised we'd be out by 7, and we have 5 whole minutes until we're out. We are gonna have our state delegate, at least, Rep. Vega was gracious enough to get back. Senator Humison will get back to me, I know he will. But I asked him to come for the 19th. Rep. Vega made a great point in his email. Could you send some questions in advance? So that if there's, I said to him, well, you can rest assured, Chapter 90, Chapter 70, Mass DOT, state reimbursement for the school funding is to support our teachers, to support our special needs students, to support our schools. I mean, we need, we need state help. I'd also like to get some feedback from him is how long do we have to have a receiver? I mean, where is the game plan from, this is no reflection on the receiver, so I'm not talking about personalities, but how long do we have to endure having a receiver? What is the end game? When is it coming? I mean, we get no feedback. So now, he's been in office now for over 3 years.
I think you just renegotiated his contract for another 3 years, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was in the paper last week. So.
Okay, I'm glad you told me. I missed that
He
article.
said between 6 and 10 years, about 10 years. Yeah, they said.
So former Councilor Lopez and maybe future Councilor Lopez is saying up to 10 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So, but those are questions. So if you, I mean, you guys have you gentlemen have their emails. You can ask them directly, or you can funnel them through Ryan or through me with a phone call or an email. However you want to do it.
And they'll be here on the 19th?
Rep. Vega has committed to it. I'm
Rep.
waiting
Vega,
for
okay.
Senator Humison.
Okay.
So that's an important meeting, and just out of respect to them, let's start at 6, and let's make sure we cap the time by 7, or maybe a little after. I know we could keep going, but we want to be respectful to their time. Plus, there's going to be other items on that agenda.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I cap it at an hour. I think I was a little too stern last time, and I apologize for that. If we bleed over a little bit, 5-10 minutes, we're not going to hurt anybody. But if this discussion's going,
fair.
But if we could just not be, just be prepared so we can have an efficient meeting that night. Get them questions in advance, and they're always great to come. It's really it's really exciting to have them here. I will also say that I believe there was a resolution that I said at the last city council meeting. We will take that up on that night as well, relative to, I think, fossil fuels, but also there are a few comments in that resolution directed at Holyoke Gas and Electric. So I'm hopeful that you'll really review that resolution and be prepared to discuss it that night. But that was put forth by Councilors Roman, Valentin, and Lisi.
Okay.
So I said we would take, and I advised Councilor Roman, who's the lead sponsor, to reach out to HG&E and to other interested parties. So we need to be prepared in advance for a good discussion on that. And we'll also go over 416 Appleton, and I think that'll pretty much be there may be some other ones, but that'll be pretty much a full agenda right there.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah,
Council Sullivan.
I would just like to take, we got 30 seconds left, remind the public that on the 29th, I'll be doing a little tabletop expo over at Open Square. It's open to the public. Anybody that's interested, there will be.
What time, Mike?
From 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You can come in and go as you want. It's just a tabletop display with some people there to answer questions about asbestos, about remediation, about bricks and mortars issues in the city, about preservation, trying to get some interest in what's going on with the Whiting Reservoir. possibly Scott's Tower, the train station, these kind of issues, especially around the water mains, some of the bonding issues we've got coming up. So,
And it's an open square, and I think that's usually building, is it 2?
Building 2 where the function, event function hall, and it's
Okay.
very informal.
And what floor is that on, Mike?
It's on the first floor.
First floor, okay, the event function hall, so November 29th, 3 to 7 PM, it's a kind of come and go as you please. Counselor Sullivan will be there to discuss various brick and mortar asbestos issues in the city, the ones that he raises, and plus the public can raise other ones and present them to any counselor however they want.
And I'll have some people there to answer other questions about historic preservation opportunities, about especially about remediation. We've had a lot of people come forward the last several years concerned about these kinds of issues, and it's just an attempt to inform and educate the public a little better.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Mike. I'm hopeful to get there myself, to look over the display and see what else you want to talk about. Counselor Tallman, anything to add? Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second,
Motion's made and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
we went 15 seconds over.